Welcome back, my friends. This right here is a game series called We Were Here. Basically, you're two explorers who find themselves lost in the tundra, and you have to solve puzzles to escape different areas. Usually, these puzzles involve communicating what you see, and then trying to figure out what the other person sees in order to work on the same puzzle from different sides. So it's a great test to figure out if your partner actually loves you and can put up with you. I don't think that you have to play the games in order by any means, but they do sell them all in a bundle on Steam for usually pretty cheap. Here's a breakdown of how many hours I got out of each one, as well as the price and my enjoyment of all of them. We Were Here Forever is definitely my favorite that I got the most out of, and if you're just looking to buy one game that you can play through over multiple sessions, that's definitely the one that I recommend. But if exploring the freezing tundra isn't your cup of tea, you can check out this cooking game that's a little more chaotic called Overcooked 2. I could make a great sexist joke here about women and kitchens, but you know, I'm better than that. Anyway, your girlfriend is going to be a natural at this one. Super chaotic, super fast-paced cooking simulation game that also takes a lot of communication. In all honesty, every time that I've played this with anyone who's half decent at games, we've stomped it up until the levels get really hard, but it's still really fun. There's a bunch of games in this series also. I would personally recommend Overcooked 2, I think that's the newest one. But if you do buy it, definitely wait for it to go on sale because it's very expansion heavy. But you know, whatever works. But you could also check out this super niche underground indie game called Portal 2. If you didn't know, that super popular game from 2007 called Portal has a second game, which is co-op. The whole mechanic in that game is that you have a gun that spawns little portals out of it, so you have to figure out how to get across different levels by teleporting yourself around. This one does take a good bit of brain power, but if you're smart and you're trying to flex on the first date, this one's great. It's also usually really cheap because it came out a while ago. I bought it on sale for $2 and I've gotten 8 hours of gameplay out of it, so a worthy investment. Now, if you're a fan of roguelikes with strong religious undertones, which is a strangely recurring theme for this genre, then you should know that Cult of the Lamb just got a multiplayer update. It's a very cute base-building, civilization management exploration game with really fun dungeon crawlery combat. Nobody should ever hire me to write video game descriptions. I've played Cult of the Lamb on stream a lot, and it's really fun because you can actually integrate your Twitch chatters into the game, so that's a plus if you do stream. From my understanding, the multiplayer update lets you do local multiplayer, which kind of sucks, but it's a phenomenal game. You can literally scoop up your partner's vomit and poop in the game, so just throwing that out there. So a very important question for you to ask yourself in your relationship is, would this person die for me? Would they become a human meat shield to protect me? And the best way that you can test that is by playing a survival game. You might have heard of all these, but I'm talking about Palworld, Ark Survival Evolved, and The Forest. They're all under the survival game umbrella, right? You build a base, explore the world, try to survive, and complete various objectives around the map, but they are very different games. If you want something cute and heavily inspired by Pokemon, then Palworld is great. I have loved this game, and I played it for weeks straight, and it's fantastic. You collect little creatures, give them guns, and battle them everywhere. I mean, what more is there to say? It's almost like a simplified Ark Survival Evolved, which is a dinosaur game. It's much more complex in its mechanics than Palworld is, and more graphically intense. There's arguably a lot more to do and more of a story, a lot more survival elements to worry about. I would argue that you're definitely paying for more gameplay with this one, but the same goes for The Forest. Now, The Forest is a horror survival experience. So we've got Pokemon, dinosaurs, cannibals. All right, are we following? You crash into a plane onto an island of mutant cannibals, and there's all kinds of secrets across the map to figure out how to get off the island and save yourself. But in the meantime, you'll probably build a cool base, explore a lot of caves, and die a lot. This one's arguably better in a group. I played it in a trio and it was so fun, because that way if one of us died, the other person wasn't just alone fighting for their life on the other side of the world. But I don't know, maybe that's just a skill issue. In fact, we didn't really have a lot of skills. You know, no critical thinking, problem solving, logic. And that's why I want to thank today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant is a platform where you learn by doing, with thousands of interactive lessons in math, data analysis, programming, and AI. You get the chance to build your critical thinking, problem solving, and logic skills a little more each day with fun little exercises written by award-winning researchers and scholars. For someone like me who's a computer science student, I am always happy to sharpen those skills outside of the classroom where there's no pressure and no stress. You can take learning at your pace and build good habits around it whenever and wherever you want to, even right on your phone. Back when I was in calculus, I would have loved to use Brilliant because they now offer specific courses on math topics. Algebra, geometry, calculus, statistics. You get to focus on learning math that you'll apply to your day-to-day life and build skills to solve real problems. To try everything Brilliant has to offer, free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/juniperdev or click on the link in the description. You'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. Now, if fighting off cannibals in the forest isn't really your pace, then you can fight off capitalism instead in Stardew Valley. I know that you have probably heard of Stardew Valley, but this is your reminder that there is a multiplayer mode, and farming simulators are one of the few genres out there that have a predominantly female player base. So if you're trying to slide in, okay, statistically speaking, this is your best chance. Stardew is a farming simulator with a whole lot to it. Base building, combat, fishing, socializing, farming, obviously, collecting. I honestly can't do it justice, but in multiplayer mode, you have the option to pool your money together. So this is a fantastic way to decide if you'll want a prenup down the road or not. You know, do they spend all the money on themselves? Do they share it? But it's a super fun game, you know, more casual, more cozy. Cuddle up and play Stardew, you know what I'm saying? You could also cuddle up and play one of the many LEGO games that are out there in the universe, many of which are on Steam and multiplayer. I grew up playing these games on the Wii, and I've played at least 10 different ones. And do they hit more as a kid in the 2010s than they do now? Probably. But do you get to relive some of the craziest nostalgia of your life? Yes. There's a ton to choose from, they're always on sale. You do want to make sure that the one that you want is the right kind of co-op. It'll either say local co-op, split screen, or online, but there is a good variety from the ones that I could see. Now this next one is technically local co-op, so you do have to be physically with the person in the same room as them, which unfortunately means no e-daters, I'm sorry. It's called Unraveled 2, and I haven't played it yet, but it has been on my list for a while. You and your partner are tied together as little yarn ball dudes, and you have to explore this big world. There's platforming and puzzle elements, and it's about 8 hours of gameplay, so I would definitely wait for it to go on sale. It looks so cute though. I'm a big fan of any game that you get to play as a small character in a really big world. So I am so excited that I get to talk about Little Nightmares 3. This one is gonna send a little shiver up your spine if you haven't heard the news yet, but Little Nightmares 3 is in development and it's going to be co-op. I have a very special place in my heart for the Little Nightmares series since I've played them all on stream, and this game, I am so excited. It's a horror series, but not in a jump scary way. Personally, I hate jump scares. It's a really cheap way of making something genuinely scary. Little Nightmares does a fantastic job at telling stories through the environment and building intensity in the same way that a good thriller movie does. The other two games just had incredible design, from the characters you fight, to the world you explore, to the biggest plot twist you will ever witness. Oh my goodness. It is so good, and I know that this next game is just gonna be incredible. I think I could do a whole video essay explaining why Little Nightmares is one of the best games ever made, so if you do want to see that eventually, consider subscribing or joining the Discord server in the description. Those are all my co-op game suggestions for the day. I know I'm gonna get so many wedding invitations in the mail after this one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Aw, he's offering me a little sausage. Oh!